Today, it's the showdown of Week 6, the Red River Rivalry, and the NCAA is working on changes. This is American Game Day. Today is Saturday, October 7th. I got my Dr. Pepper ready for the biggest rivalry of all time is back. Oklahoma versus Texas, the Red River Rivalry for the first time since '09. Both teams are undefeated. Both teams are ranked in the top 15. Number 1 ranked is on the line, and also the Big 12. And also, it's the last time both teams are in the Big 12 before they head to the SEC next year. A lot is on the line this game. And also, about last year, Texas beat Oklahoma 49-0, so a lot is riding on Oklahoma this time. But, we had some great games Thursday and Friday night. The first game up with Kansas State and Oklahoma State. I recorded this episode before the game started, so here is the final score of that game. And also Nebraska and Illinois was also last night as well, so there is the final score of those games. So I hope they were pretty interesting games. If you had nothing to watch, there you go. But, yeah, there are the final scores of those games. But, yeah, here is our headline. I got a lot of headlines for you this week. Travis Hunter update. Yeah, he is likely going to miss the next 2 games, despite he's able to bowl with the person that took him out. Yeah, if you're healthy enough to go bowling, you're healthy enough to play football. Because, you got to throw, unless it's his leg, but he got hit in the chest, so I really don't. They really never said what his injury was. They just said, oh, he's out. Okay, you tell me what his injury is, so I can know. Because he went bowling, so obviously he's not concussion or something. I don't know. Also, I was gonna have a hard time scoring points now with their starting quarterback out. Yep, he's got a torn ACL, and he will be out for the remainder of the season. So, yeah, let's see here. I don't even remember who I was playing this week. I think they might have a bye week. I'm not sure. But I pulled it up now. They're playing Purdue. I think they'll get a couple of points. 2:30 on the Peacock Network, or streaming service, And here's some NCAA news for you. The NCAA is shrinking the transfer portal window for athletics to transfer. So, yeah, there's that. So, athletes now have less time to transfer, which I guess is kind of good news, or to limit I don't think it's going to change anything. All you're doing is giving them less time to go where they want to go. I think I would think you would have, this is like a big decision for these students, and you're putting pressure on them to hurry up and pick. Seriously. Alright. Also, the NCAA has reversed the decision for T.C. Walker to play for North Carolina. Yes, he is finally able to play after Mac Brown has been fighting against NCAA all summer long on this. And now that we're in the middle of the season, NCAA is like, all right, he can play now. it's too late now. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be excited to play, but he already missed half of the season. Yeah, the season's almost half over. Well, I mean, he's got to be upset about that still. I mean, people are still not going to be happy about that he missed the whole season. Oh, now I can play, but why couldn't you make that decision a month ago? Come on. Also, the Big Ten released their schedule for 2024 and through 28, like their, not really the full schedule, whatever, but, their opponents that they'll be playing in, the home games, away games. Here's the 24 schedule, and USC's got Maryland, Michigan, Minnesota, UCLA, Washington, Nebraska, Penn State, Rutgers, Wisconsin. You can see all the other new schools coming in for the Big Ten, like UCLA, Oregon, and Washington. Also, Northwestern's getting sued by their former coach. $130 million for wrongful termination by Pat Fitzgerald. Yes, he thinks that him being fired is not worth it. He says that he doesn't think that he should have been fired, even though Northwestern's doing terrible. Same situation with Michigan State. He's also, earlier, I think it was Thursday morning, I saw news that he wrote like a 106-page letter to Michigan State about being fired or something. Anyway, yeah. Also, here's some funny news. In case you missed the Ole Miss and LSU game, there were a huge bad call that Ole Miss fans did not like. They were throwing bottles, they were throwing beer cans, all kind of things on the field. Well, Ole Miss, the SEC, fined Ole Miss $75,000 for throwing stuff on the field. So, yeah, that's that. Yeah. So, I don't know what else you want to say about that, but I mean, that's a lot of money, but I think they would probably rather, but it wasn't for rushing the field, though. They rushed the field. They got fined for throwing stuff on the field than rushing the field. Like, I mean, isn't fans going on the field kind of throwing themselves on the field? I guess. I don't know. And then the head coach for UCF got a contract extension through 2027. And I kind of think it's weird because we're in the middle of the season and UCF, yeah, they been okay this year. But they're really haven't been winning their Big 12 games. It's their first year in the Big 12 and yet they haven't been winning them. So that's that. But they do have Kansas today. I'll talk more about that. But you see that graphic? You see this next graphic? You all know what it's about. Number 12 versus number 3. 11 o'clock. ABC. That's going to be the most watched game of the season. Oklahoma definitely will show up. They want to forget the game they had last year. Texas. I mean, yeah, they beat Alabama. But it's also Nick Saban's worst Alabama team since he's been there. I mean, Alabama's good. They're just at championship level. Oklahoma, on the other hand, to me, I think is a better team than Alabama. And yet, both these two teams are undefeated. So if Texas wins this game, Texas deserves to be number 1. But if OU beats Texas, well, that means they beat the team that beat Alabama. And Alabama's not that bad. So I think the winner of this game could be number 1. Here is the total comparison stats. Yeah, Oklahoma leads total yards per game, total passings per game. They have to work. Texas barely leads winning rushing, but Oklahoma's struggling on rushing. They can't run the ball at all. And then the total yards per game that they allow. Texas is honestly dominating this, but I mean, Oklahoma's really been really changed their defense this year too. Brett Venables doing a really good job, but penalties of both teams is flat out terrible, but you can probably blame Big 12 officials on that. And then Dylan Gabriel for Oklahoma, he's 75%. He's got over 15,000 yards. He's got 15 touchdowns and only thrown for 2 interceptions. That's some pretty good stats for someone who's really not getting much media talk, but no matter how they play today, I mean, if they play close or win today, I think you'll finally get media respect. And Quinn Ewers for Texas, he's 66% on passing, over 13,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, and he's got 1 interception back in Kansas. So, yeah, he's mostly perfect and are very accurate and very protective of the ball. But yeah, take a look at the Big 12 standings. Despite Texas being at the top in the rankings, let's see where they fall in the Big 12 standings with OU. But Kansas is at 5, West Virginia is at 4, Kansas State's at 3, Texas is at 2, Oklahoma is 1. By the way, you remember the terrible standings from last week from ESPN? Yeah, I've decided to do my own standings with the conference, so this is a lot better look. So Oklahoma and Texas are tied for first. UCF in Kansas is a big game to keep an eye on today, 3 o'clock on Fox. UCF, you saw, I just mentioned that they just gave their head coach a contract extension. Kansas is a hot team in the Big 12 right now, looking to climb up. They did just lose to Texas, but Texas got a good game today also, so we'll see what Kansas really made out. UCF is one of the best newcomers coming in, so if they can knock out Kansas, that's going to be a big win for them. Texas Tech and Baylor, keep a close eye on that game because both those two teams are looking for a win to go to a bowl game. And TCU and Iowa State, those two teams will very likely go to a bowl game, but this game will really help their bowl game resume, so pay very close to this because both these two teams need to win this game if they want to go to a really good bowl game down the line. Both those games are on at 7 o'clock tonight, one on ESPN2, one on FS2. Now let's head to the ACC. Yeah, this is going to be a good one. Number 5, Virginia Tech. Number 4, North Carolina. Number 3 is Duke. Number 2 is Louisville. And of course, number 1 is Florida State. So, when was the last time Clemson's not in the top 5 for the ACC standings? It's been since Dabo Swinney took over for the first year, so it's been a while. But also, Syracuse is not also up in there, but they have a chance to do that. How can they respond after their big loss to Clemson? Well, they go on the road and play North Carolina and beat them. Yeah, that's what they do. Probably not going to happen, but they got a good test today. North Carolina, number 21, they got their wide receiver back, Tyrese Walker. Is he going to be a play difference maker today? We'll find out. They got a big one. And also, Notre Dame for the 3rd straight week, they have a big game. And they really haven't looked impressive against Ohio State or Duke. So, yeah, this is going to be a true test to see if they can count. Can they count to 11? Well, they're number 10 ranked. That's probably how many they'll put on the field. They're playing Louisville, who's ranked number 25 now. They don't look too bad. They've kind of been hiding in the ACC this year, but this is really Louisville's chance to say, hey, we're still in the ACC, we're good, and this is their chance to take down number 10, Notre Dame. Some also big notable mentions for the ACC. Yeah, Marshall will play at NC State. I know you're probably thinking, that's not much of a game, but Marshall is undefeated right now, and NC State is, well, they're NC State-ish. Yeah, 1 o'clock of the CW. And then, what used to be a really good game a couple years ago is now at the bottom of the barrel at the ACC for a good matchup. 2:30 on the ACC network. We got Wake Forest and Clemson. Yeah, gonna be a good game if it was last year or 2 years ago, but yeah, that's that. Alright, the Big Ten. What did the Big Ten have for us? Well, let's look at the standings. Wisconsin is 5, number 4 is Maryland, number 3 is Penn State, number 2 is Michigan, and number 1 is Ohio State. Yep. Wisconsin and Maryland and Penn State are all up there climbing up, while Ohio State and Michigan is dominating right now. And you're probably wondering, well, Ohio State's had like more wins. Or, yeah, Penn State's had more wins than the others, but also standing-wise and beat more teams in the conference. But let things settle in first. But Ohio State's got a good matchup today. 11 o'clock on Fox. Maryland looks really good. I think they should be ranked. I think they're number 25 in my rankings. Gonna be a good test for Ohio State to see how they can respond with their bye week from beating Notre Dame. And then we got Rutgers in Wisconsin. This is gonna be a really good matchup because Rutgers they're a good team. I know they'll get a couple losses to the bigger top dogs, the Big Ten, but they have a really good shot at making a bowl game this year. Wisconsin, on the other hand, we kept thinking, this is going to be their year. This is going to be their year that they go to the Big Ten championship game. We still don't know. Once again, it's another classic Wisconsin year where we don't know where they're heading. And then we have Michigan and Minnesota at 6:30 on NBC. That's going to be a good one, a good true test of Michigan's offense right there. Minnesota's got a good defensive good defensive back. We'll see what Michigan is really made out of offensively, see if they can get some points on the board. And the Pac-12 standings. This one's going to be really fun because they're all over the place because they're all really good. Oregon State's 5, Washington State's 4, number 3 is Washington, number 2 is USC, and number 1 is Oregon. Now, ESPN has USC at number 1, but their defense is not even there. They haven't showed up yet. Oregon definitely looks like the most impressive team. They've dominated in all 3 phases of the ball, and we'll talk about them here in a little bit. But 2 o'clock on the Pac-12 Network, Washington State versus UCLA. UCLA is really good too, but Chip Kelly has some work he needs to do after, what has he been there, 4 seasons now? But Washington State, they got a good test on the road. Oregon State and Cal, 9 o'clock on Pac-12 Network. Oregon State, put my money on them. Yeah, and then 9:30 on ESPN. Pac-12 After Dark. Arizona and USC. Yes, this is going to be a good test for USC's defense because if Arizona scores points on them, I'm expecting USC to win big, score lots of points. But Arizona, if they somehow score more than 20 points, USC probably has the worst defense in the Pac-12. Arizona should have against a team like USC, as good as they are as Lincoln Riley. Arizona should have a hard time scoring points. But based on the way Colorado played against USC, I know that it's gonna be more. Both teams are gonna score more than probably 35 points. Easy. A&M is at 5, Missouri is at 4, Alabama at 3, Kentucky at 2, and number 1 is Georgia, and that is your SEC standings. But wait, there's more. I don't have quite graphic for it yet, but if you include Oklahoma and Texas in it this year, Oklahoma and Texas are 1 and 2 in the SEC. Yep, you heard me. Yes, that's how good Oklahoma and Texas is. LSU and Missouri, 11 o'clock on ESPN. This is going to be a great ball game kicking off not too far away in just over 40 minutes from now. 23 versus 21. Missouri is the higher ranked team. How long had you seen Missouri come into a game, a team like LSU, and be the higher ranked team? That hadn't happened a long time for Missouri. And also Kentucky and Georgia. 6 o'clock ESPN. This is gonna be a really true test for Georgia. This is really Georgia's first true game to see what Georgia's made out of. They're having a hard time putting points on in the first half. We know certainly they can get their score points in the second half. Their defense, top of the line. But Kentucky, we know Kentucky can score points quickly. So Georgia's defense will be a good test today. Also, Georgia's offense is going to be working from behind the whole night. Alabama and A&M, 2:30 CBS. I have no idea why they picked this game over Kentucky and Georgia, but CBS did. Yeah, I don't even think it's going to be that big of a game. I got Alabama by double-digit win. And Arkansas and Ole Miss. What probably used to be hyping up as a big game because they're usually the middle of the SEC, but Arkansas is at the bottom of the SEC this year. So, Ole Miss is going to have an easy game at 6:30 tonight on the SEC Network. And you're probably thinking, well, that's it for college wrap-up. No, I have a new graphic for you guys this week. There's some games, non-conference games, I really kind of missed out. And that's the Group of 5. Texas State, Louisiana, 2:30 on ESPNU. Texas State has been a rising star in the Group of 5 this year. And then we got Northern Illinois and Akron, 2:30 on ESPN+. Arkansas State and Troy, 3 o'clock on ESPN+. And then our big show of the Group of 5, Fresno State, they're 24 against Wyoming. Not only have they beaten Texas Tech, they look really good, although it makes Texas Tech look bad. They lost them, but Wyoming's not that bad of a team. They only have one loss, and they are good enough to beat Fresno State. Alright, let's move on to my top 6. Yeah, it's playoff talk now. Alright, so, yeah. Really, not many big upsets as we expected. So far, college football has been, boring. Yeah, been boring this year. Or have the experts been, or me, has been, or really AP, really, the experts really haven't been changing theirs top 6 as well. Or really kind of top 10. But, yeah, we turned to be experts this year because we are actually doing not too bad of a job predicting who's going to be in the playoff this year because not very many movement. Again, yeah, I haven't made a change in my top 4 yet this season. I mean, I made a few just, but they're moved some teams around, but it's been the same 14, same 16s in my picture week in and week out. Same with the AP. I mean, we all agree that Georgia, Michigan, Florida State, and Ohio State are all at the top of the ranking. I mean, yeah. I mean, I had Penn State in the top 4. They had them out. I mean, they put Georgia in over Tennessee over, Texas over Penn State, and then Michigan over Florida State. But still, I mean, we have pretty much the same teams, all right? Oh, yeah, by the way, Oregon, not too far out of the rankings out of AP, and Texas, not too far out of my rankings and my rankings. So, yeah, there's your week 6, and I know what I'm talking about. All right, I've been watched. I have a new list this week. Some new players to watch this weekend. Michael Penns Jr. from Washington, Jordan Travis from Florida State, J.J. McCarty from Michigan, Bo Nick from Oregon, and Dylan Gabriel from Oklahoma. keep an eye on all of them. I mean, this is alphabetical order and first names, so I don't have, I'm not listing them in order yet, but just some key players to watch today because, yeah, they are on the Heisman watch right now. So, yeah, Dylan Daniels got a big game. Quinn Ewers, if they beat Texas, they'll probably be back in this mix. They might switch them in on the winner of the Red River Rivalry. Will probably be in this list. Bo Nick, I moved them in here. I like what they've done. Oregon looks really good. Michigan offense has been unstoppable. Jordan Travis, man. I mean, I know Florida State hasn't getting the big wins like they expected them to be, but they are winning their games. Washington as well. Again, they really haven't been playing anybody yet. Michigan and Washington's the only team on this list that hasn't really been truly tested yet. And I'm about to see it real soon. But, yeah, let's take a look at our NFL headlines for you. Joe Burrow said the Bengals need a win versus the Cardinals for mortal reasons. Yeah, that's his reasons for mortal. Yeah, for mortality. Yeah, for basically, he's just saying we need a win real badly. If we don't win, we're all doomed. Our job is on the line if we don't win this game Sunday against the Cardinals. And then we had Thursday Night Football, the Bears versus the Commanders. Yeah, the Bears put up a big win, 40-20. What a beatdown. What a big win for the Bears after a game they should have won last week against the Broncos. But, yeah, much-needed win for the Bears. And the Commanders, well, maybe they should change their name back to the Redskins so they can start winning football. I don't know, that's just my opinion. Alright, I got your Week 5 NFL games to watch. The Jaguars versus the Bills. Yeah, London, 8:30 NFL Network. And the Titans versus the Colts tomorrow noon on CBS. These two games are gonna be really important. Mainly the one in London because Jaguars coming off of they're staying once again another week in London. They're bringing in the Bills, but they are, I guess, technically the road team for some reason. But yeah, it looks like it's a good game. And then we got the Ravens versus the Steelers. And then our game of the week for the NFL, the Cowboys versus the 49ers. Both these two teams look really good this year. They both have that one loss that really no one expected them to win. But this is going to be a really good test tomorrow night to see if these two teams are really Super Bowl worthy. So, gonna be a good game, and have nothing else to do this Sunday night. Check that game out. All right, what's going around the network here on Busy Sports? Our schedule for next week is Slate Report podcast will be at Monday. Yeah, gonna be breaking down that Red River Rivalry game for about an hour-ish. Man, maybe it'll be more about 20 to 30 minutes. But down in distance, breaking down every game that I've talked about today on Tuesday, along with the Red River Rivalry. And then next Saturday, American Game Day. I'm going to be taking a little break from college football. Well, not really, but I'm going to be talking more about the NFL and recapping what been more happening in the NFL and what to expect for the rest of the season. And also, the CFP rankings is later this month, so that debatable show will start off sometime in October. And then if you haven't already, check out our website for the latest news, score, stats, etc. That's all going around the network here on Busy Sports. Our joke game of the week, and I got a good one for you for week 6. William and Mary versus Virginia. Yes. You're probably wondering, well, don't you usually do a ranked versus unranked team? Yes, I do. But that's usually what I do. But, you know, it's really a game that you expect one team to win and then the other team to lose, like 100%, like, why would you schedule this game? Well, William Mary is undefeated, Virginia is beatable, so I have Virginia picking up their first win of the season and William Mary picking up their first loss of the season. 11 o'clock on the ACC network. It's now time for the option! Starting off with the NFL. Jackson Jaguars, Buffalo Bills. I just talked about this game. It's going to be very entertaining if you want offense. Both the two teams will put up points. It's going to be back and forth. But if I had to pick a winner in this game, it will be the Bills. The Bills 100% is winning this game. Yeah, Jaguars will keep it close majority of the time, but I have the Bills taking over in this second half. Next NFL game, the Titans versus the Colts. Tomorrow on CBS. This is a really hard one, tough for me. The Titans were going to be great last year. Not as great this year. They're still a good team. But are they going to make the playoff? The Colts as well. This is a must-win team for both of them. I have the Titans winning this game. Close game. Maybe even overtime. And then the Ravens versus the Steelers at noon on CBS tomorrow. And once again, just another close. It's going to be a close game. I'm not saying overtime this time. I think the Ravens will. I think it's going to be. They'll switch leads back and forth. I think the Ravens might hold the lead majority of the game, and then fourth quarter is when the Steelers take over the ball game and win the game. All right, and then our NFL game of the week, 7:20 on NBC tomorrow night. Cowboys, 49ers. They both have one loss, and both the losses come unexpectedly on a game that they probably should have won. Now, this is really both these teams' first big game of the season. I'm gonna go with the Cowboys this time. Even though they tend to lose these games, I think things are gonna be different this time around. Rutgers in Wisconsin, back to college football, 11 o'clock on Peacock. Gonna be a big game. Gonna be a big game for these two teams. Rutgers really hasn't been at the running for the Big Ten in many years. Wisconsin has been, and they fall apart after week 3. I think this is gonna be Wisconsin's year to finally show out of how they're supposed to be. I got Wisconsin winning this game close. It's gonna be a close game. And then Marshall is undefeated, playing against a basic NC State team. 1 o'clock on the CW. And I gotta say, it's really hard to pick a winner. I really want to pick Marshall to win this game. I really think Marshall will cover. I don't even know what the line is, but I got Marshall covering, but I got NC State outright win in this game. And then we go to California for UCLA, 2 o'clock Pac-12 Network. Once again, another Pac-12 game, a good Pac-12 game that I won't be able to see. Playing against Washington State, they're number 13. Would love to watch this game to see how Chip Kelly turns their team around. I gotta go with the upset here. I think UCLA is gonna win this ball game. I think Chip Kelly's finally gonna have his probably biggest game of his career at UCLA. And then Alabama and A&M, 2:30 on CBS. Boy, is this going to be a big game. I cannot wait to know. It's not going to be that great of a game. There's going to be a lot of other bigger games at 2:30. I might tune in a little bit to see a little bit of it, but there are definitely better games on.